Yo, welcome back to the podcast, guys. The No Name Podcast, the business podcast where we talk about business, highlight other people's stories, and really ultimately try to help you become better at business. And first and foremost, I want to say thank you for tuning in. If you guys don't mind, share this with somebody. Share this with somebody that you feel could really benefit from this, because our ultimate goal is to help as many people as we can. My name is PJ Padua, number one co-host in the world. And today we got our other co-host, Brian Tran. Here he is. Let's go. So today's going to be a fun episode, guys. I want to start off and kind of talk to Brian. I want to ask you, Brian, one of your most successful companies, I would say, is the VA Hub.
Yeah.
And I just want to ask, how did that get started? Can you give us a little rundown of what it is, a little brief summary, and kind of how it just kind of came to be today?
Yeah, so it's definitely one of the more successful business because we built it right. And it's a big organization, and we have all the C-suites so that it doesn't require a lot of my time to run the companies.
Mm-hmm.
I act more like a board member than actually in the company.
Mm-hmm.
And so it started really because, as some of you guys may know, I'm a real estate agent, still am a real estate agent. I own.
Oh, how about we back it up first and let's say introduce what is the VA Hub? What do you guys do at the VA Hub? For anybody who doesn't know.
The VA Hub is the way I like to best describe it, we're not just like a call center. We're not like a Fiverr in the sense that when you hire a virtual assistant from the Philippines, now we're also in Argentina, Colombia, but when you hire somebody from overseas, we pride ourselves in training them. We vet them. They go through our training modules to become basically like somebody you would hire here in the United States. So a lot of these VA companies that are our competitors, they are solely based in the Philippines. If you hire a virtual assistant in the Philippines, they usually either work for themselves or it's owned and operated by the Philippines. The problem with that, and it's not a really big problem, but I think it is because what differentiates the VA Hub from them, we are a U.S.-based company that leverages, people from outside the States.
Mm-hmm.
The benefit of that is two things. Number one, it's cost effective. But because we are a U.S.-based company, a lot of the standards, it's the U.S. standard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, our clients range from real estate agents to architects to insurance agents, even video editors, content creators. But mainly, I would say 65% of our business are realtors and brokerages. So let's see here. That's kind of what we do.
Awesome. I mean, I think that's super dope. You guys built something amazing. You guys are actually with the intent of helping people. And on top of that, you're helping people from a different country, right? And it seems like your main focus is that, everybody could do the same work, with the proper resources. And it sounds like you guys pride yourself in teaching them, the U.S. ways, the work ethic, and just kind of linking everything together. So,
yeah, with today's modern technology, a lot of the work that is needed to get done doesn't need to be done by somebody in person.
Mm-hmm.
I think we learned that from COVID with the whole work from home. Now, do I agree that it is better to be more efficient in the office? Of course. But at what cost, right? A VA, for example, virtual assistant here, if you through my company, would range anywhere from part-time, costing you $1,500 to $3,000 to $4,000, depending on how many hours you work. I mean, my assistant here makes more than that, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's just the cost of living here is expensive. And I'm all about paying people a lot. But at some point, especially with a newer company and obviously going into the recession that we're in, you have to be cost effective.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where a virtual assistant can come in and really keep the business rolling, but not break the bank. And I think going back to your first question of how it got started.
Yeah, let us know.
So I was a real estate agent. I was with coaching, and every coach says the first thing that you're supposed to spend money on as a real estate agent once you start making it is an assistant. Now, as we film, I'm a real estate agent in San Francisco, California, the city of San Francisco, not Stockton. And people are saying they're from the Bay Area, right? Because out there you can get away with it, paying people a little bit less.
Yeah, definitely. It's completely different from
The average assistant here, you're looking at $80,000 to $120,000 depending on experience. They're worth every penny.
Definitely.
But as a new agent starting out, and even an experienced agent, till this day, we have 2 VAs, right? Even in our production company, we have a VA.
Yeah.
In every single one of my companies, I have a VA, ranging from boba to honey, coffee, to our content. You need them. But they are a fraction of the cost.
Yeah.
And you're talking about maybe less than $20,000 a year.
Yeah.
For the price of a real admin here, I can hire 5 VAs.
Yeah. 5 times the work.
5 times the work. So I was a real estate agent. Going back again, we're going off on tangents.
Yeah,
but,
no, it's all good.
They say, okay, go hire an assistant. Go hire an assistant. You shouldn't be doing a lot of the stuff that you're doing. Okay, well, I think my first year, I told everybody, a good year was like 120 grand.
Yeah.
Something like that. Or even like 75.
Yeah, you said on the YouTube video a little bit less.
Well, I mean, depending on which year we refer to. So let's say year 2, I think was like 75 or 60,000.
When you were cooking.
So it's like, okay, how the heck am I going to afford an in-person assistant?
Yeah, definitely.
Now, I agree you have to take risk, but I wasn't about to pay somebody more than what I was earning.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to start somewhere. So I actually contracted through another company, a virtual assistant. They were, I think at the time, even this company was more expensive. I think it was like $10 or $11 an hour. And it worked out pretty well. And I said, okay, this is a good business. And honestly, if the company had never raised the price, because I think they went from 11 to like $14, and I'm like, whoa, that's a big jump. My brother and I were using it. My brother Jerry, he's technically the CEO of the company. And he had an assistant, and we kind of got talking. We're like, how hard can this be?
Yeah.
That's how all my businesses start. How hard can this be?
I think all businesses start like that, right?
And we're like, yeah, I don't think it's that hard. Like, dude, if we're paying, because at the time, this is how my mind works, right? Him and I were like, well, we're paying, I think, $2,000 a month. You're paying $2,000 a month. That's $4,000. Bro, if we get like 10 clients, we're making 20 grand.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, that's not enough. But back then I'm like, dude, if we make 20 grand, dude, we're killing it. We're cooking.
Yeah. It sounds like you just saw a problem. You saw a problem in your life, and you needed a service. You found a service, but you're like, oh, I think I could do this better. Let me close the gap.
Yeah. And so number one, the price was high.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were like, okay, this is too high. Because the whole point of hiring a virtual assistant is that it's got to be cheaper than what it would cost you to hire here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as we speak today, the VA Hub has clients in all 50 states and Australia and some other places that, I think Canada as well. So depending on where they are, the minimum wage is different. Here in San Francisco, it's $16.99, so it's expensive. But we had to be competitive in other markets like Georgia and the South, where the minimum wage is cheaper. So today we're $8.81 for full time, $9.86 or something like that for part time. Don't quote me, guys. Like I said, I don't run the day to day. So that was the first problem, price. Okay, so when we started this company, we need to be better on price. Number two, the VA that we had, I don't really remember her name anymore, but she lacked a lot of skills. Like, we had to train her a lot. And I was like, okay, like basic stuff like Excel, Google Docs, Canva, grammar.
Yeah.
Simple things like internet. Like, why is her internet so unstable? And so we built out the curriculum, and we sat down and said, okay, what would separate our company from everybody else? Okay, training has to be number one.
Yeah. They
got to have good English. The internet has to be stable, because in a third world country, the internet's not stable. So my team, we have a staff of, I think we just threw the retreat, like 70 something people. So that's my hard cost, those staff. And they have to go through and they have to train. They have to vet, and we do background checks and all that stuff. I think a lot of these other companies, they don't do that. Mm-hmm. And we provide the highest quality VA. We're not the cheapest. I will say that we are not the cheapest, but you pay for what you get, and you're hiring a U.S. based company.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if anything happens, any dispute, you're disputing with a U.S. based company,
Yeah.
right? If you have a dispute in the Philippines, good luck.
Yeah.
That company is going to take your money and do whatever with it. They don't even have to report to work. You're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a sense of security when you hire the VA hub. The next thing is, I think I want to share this, is that we process about 1,000 applicants a month. A week.
Shoo, that's a lot.
Only 3% actually pass our modules.
Yeah. Top tier.
Top tier. Only 3% pass. And if they don't pass, we don't endorse them to our clients.
Yeah.
So that's why we're the best of the best.
Hey, I respect it. That's the way to go, man.
Creme de la creme.
Sounds like you guys do it right.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so, yeah, but go ahead. What's the next question?
Nice. Yeah. I mean, I just want to go and ask you do you feel like, it's not really about the VA hub, but do you feel like everything that you've done, you need a VA? Do you think it's made your life like easier? Do you feel like that's the reason for like your success? Like, chime in on that.
I think you need people.
Mm-hmm.
People and a team will make you successful. A team becomes a community behind your back, you're unstoppable. So yes, I think the VA is the first start.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you can afford real people, like in office, great. That's what you should strive for. But at any given point, you're probably always going to need a VA just because they're cheaper. They're cost effective, and they can do a lot of the kind of like the grunt stuff that you don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So how does it apply to every company? Basically, the way that I set it up, and we can go on and on about what they do for me.
Yeah.
But they are the first line of defense. It's kind of how I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
As I've scaled and now run 9 companies, I can't have like small problems reach me.
Yeah.
Like I shouldn't be dealing with, like, let's say, like I have to go find a plumber.
Yeah.
Or something breaks at my rentals. They don't call me because that stops me from doing bigger picture stuff.
Yeah.
They call the VA first. Most of the time the VA can handle it, 90% of it. The other 10% is when you kind of need, like, this is when you kind of level up and you have an in-person, like somebody that can actually go out, touch it, feel it, fix it. But most of the time the VAs, they're the first line of defense.
Yeah.
They do the bookkeeping. They can do tedious calls, research, basically everything.
Yeah. Nice. I love it. So do you think a realtor, like a new day age realtor right now, maybe even in the past, do you think a realtor can really be quote unquote successful without a VA? What are your opinions on that?
Yeah, you can, but why do more? Like, you have to understand, you have to squeeze more than 24 hours in a day.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do that? Right? Without sacrificing sleep, working out, and eating.
Maybe even your sanity too at that.
Exactly.
You know?
I know a lot of realtors. They go out there and they love the grind. I think the grind is good.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things that you're doing that just doesn't make any damn sense.
Yeah.
Drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Like when COVID was happening, right? Every realtor needed to sign a PEAD form, a PEAD form. Every house that you showed needed a PEAD form signed.
What is that?
Basically, if you go in and you catch COVID, it's on you.
Oh, okay.
Like a whatever.
A waiver.
A waiver.
I don't know.
They're like, oh my God, I'm so stressed out. All these realtors, oh my God, I'm so stressed out. I'm like, oh, dude, I don't care. I didn't do anything. Like, I put my VA in a group chat with my buyers.
Yeah.
They text me, I want to go look at 10 properties. You need 10 PEDs?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm like, okay. Hey, Davina. Davina's my VA. You write it. You go track it down. You, number one, schedule all the showings so that I'm not bouncing up and down, left and right. You know, like line it up. She puts it in Google Maps, so it's like a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 1:30, 2 o'clock, 2:30. You know, and she did that, and then she sent out all the PEDs.
Yeah.
And all I did was show up.
Easy.
And I had realtors like, oh my God, I had to sit there and create 10 different PEDs. I'm like, that. When you categorize what you need to do in a day and your activities, income producing activity. And I think, I forgot, I'm going to butcher this, but basically you rank it from A, B, C, and D. A is like you have to do prospecting. You have to generate new leads. B is like showing properties, going on listing appointments, and doing like closing the client. C is like, okay, you have to show the property. D would be like you have to fill out the paperwork. But you soon realize that you don't have to do D. That like D does not get you paid the most amount of money. That can be replaced by somebody who's making $9 or $10 an hour. If you're a top realtor and you have to know your hourly. A top realtor, in my opinion, makes about $250 to $300 an hour. That's equivalent to about $500,000 to $600,000 a year. If you're worth $250 an hour, why are you doing a $10 an hour task?
Yeah.
Can you do it? Yeah.
That's a good question. You should start asking people that more.
Yeah, but stop being cheap.
Yeah.
Start leveraging.
Hey, that's something I'm learning this year too. So it's crazy because just to go back and, think that you can't like the whole VA, right? And like finding like the right person to the job. It's kind of like foreign in the beginning, right? For me, when I was trying to find I was like, I need help eventually, right? I was like, oh man, but I don't feel like I could get a video editor that I can really afford in the beginning, and in my head, like Philippines and stuff, like wasn't even in my spectrum. I didn't even think of that, So I think it's awesome that you guys have like a company that, is like US based, like you're saying. You guys train awesome, because back in the day, I would have thought for some reason you have a stigma that's like, oh, if they're a foreign country, they're not as good, and that's far from the case,
That comes from, I call it kind of like the America syndrome, where it's like we think we're the best, and we are, but other countries are great too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like we like to put people, because Philippines is a third world country, and you automatically think of like sticks and huts and
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it definitely kind of is like that.
Not really. If you go to like the BCG, I don't know what it stands for, I forgot, but that's basically their downtown. Dude, clean, safe, big towers, Ferraris, G-Wagons, Bentleys.
No way,
dude,
bro.
the whole thing. I was, we do a retreat every year.
Oh, maybe I haven't been in the Philippines.
Dude, come to our retreats. We throw big retreats every year. We treat our, at the VA Hub, we treat everybody like family. We pay them the best. That's why I don't compromise. Like, that's why we charge what we charge, because we pay them a lot. And we throw these events. We invest in our people.
Yeah.
And when I go out there, I'm like, bro, it's sometimes better than at San Francisco, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's
cleaner,
awesome. That's awesome.
So we got to get out of that syndrome or whatever it is. Like, dude, there are great countries, great people everywhere. And so just because they're not in America doesn't mean that they can't do it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely. Cool. Awesome. So I wanted to ask you, Brian. So say we have a new realtor here and never has had a VA, and they finally get a VA, right? What would you advise them to do? Like, what is something that you would use your VA for? And then what would you focus on with your own time?
Okay. So this is where a lot of realtors kind of, they try it out because they hear it, and then they usually fire the VAs pretty soon because they're good. They're a good realtor. They're not a good boss. A good boss, a good leader has to know how to delegate. But okay, how do you know what to delegate? Super simple. Go about your day. Write down everything that you're doing. Okay? Like, okay, 8 a.m., woke up. 8:30, answered emails. Okay, what emails did you answer? 9 o'clock, got to the office, made phone calls. Got in 9:30, created comps. 10 o'clock, create the books. 10:30, go out on appointments. Whatever it is, just write it down. Write the whole thing down. At the end of the day, after a week or so, you look at your whole calendar, and then you determine what task should I have given up, delegated. That is what your VA does. That's the start. Okay? We can go deeper. Did one of the cameras shut off?
I think so.
Okay, we can pause and then
do a quick pause, guys. Quick
what doesn't matter. You
intermission.
can always chop it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's this one. It's not this one. It's this one? No worries. We got the other angle going. I think this battery died. If I have to change it out.
All right. You might as well pause that, and then that way it resets. Should it reset? Nah, just let it run.
Nah. We gotta let the whole. Yeah, it's gonna get too complex. Just redo it. We flowing.
Oh, we're doing good. I love the real estate. Always tie back.
Yeah.
We're doing the Ryan Pineda thing.
Also, guys, if you want a VA, go to the VA.
If you reference the No Name Podcast, I'll waive $100 off your setup fee.
No Name Podcast, bro.
Let's go. Did it start up again?
It's already recording. Camera 1, camera 2, this one's still rolling.
All right.
All right.
Ask another question because I don't know what the last part was.
Now we back. All right. Welcome back, guys. All right, I'm gonna go.
You need a clap?
Yeah, let's clap. All right. So I want to go transition into what are some specifics though. You know, maybe this realtor is just like, oh, I hear you, Brian. You're telling me to make a list, but like, I really don't know what to have them do.
Okay, cool. Let's do this. If you're a buyer's agent, right? Like in this market, it's good to work with buyers. Your client is sending you 10 properties a day or 5, whatever it is. You should put your VA, because most of the VAs have iPhones, right? Or Google Voice, whatever. Put them in a group chat with every single one of your clients. And you can explain it this way. Like, hey, I want to introduce you to Davina. She is my assistant who will make sure that I don't miss anything as we, because sometimes text messages can get long. I'm driving. And so I want you to send all the properties to this group chat. And what we'll do is we'll do some research and set up a showing, all that stuff. That makes it easy because now, as realtors, we're always on the run.
Yeah.
And now when the text messages come in, you don't have to like panic and try to answer it right away.
Yeah.
I've done that before.
Yeah.
Like I'm driving, like, oh shoot, my high-end client, I gotta answer. And they'll send like 5 properties. And I forget if I don't look at it right away. So the VAs, to add value, we have agent remarks. So they may not know everything about the property, but they can quickly look up on your MLS, give them access to your MLS. And then they'll go through the agent remarks and say, okay, we need to set up a private showing, or this one has a special condition, or there was a death on the property. They add value instantly. So number one, they're screening it for you. And then, they'll respond back and say, oh yeah, we like this property. Can we go see it? Great, what time? And did you want to see any others? And then they have access to your calendar. They set up all the showings for you. They reach out to the agent if there's a CVS code that needs to open the Supra, or if it's like San Francisco where everything's done by private appointment, pain in the butt. But yeah, they set it up.
And all you got to do is show up.
That's it.
Money,
you go a step further. You ready for this?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay. You have the VA actually send out a comp. Like, it's quick to run comps. Now, if you want a more detailed version, then yeah, you have to look through it. But the VA can just send out like, okay, you're looking at a home in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Bernal Heights. She can look into Bernal Heights and say, hey, just FYI, before you go out there, I wanted to send you some information. Here's the disclosures, but also here's a CMA about what we think the home is worth. So, set the expectation. These 3 homes sold similar properties. That's for you. Whether they look at it or not, dude, you look like a superstar as an agent, right? A buyer's agent. Like, dude, holy smokes. We didn't even see the property, and Brian already did all this work for us.
Yeah.
I didn't do jack. The VA did it all.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
So that's the buyer's agent stuff right there. The next thing is, so now you don't have to worry about scheduling. You don't have to worry about your buyers. Okay, let's talk about disclosures. You want to pull disclosures. I kind of briefly mentioned it. Dude, have them pull it all.
Yeah.
You want to write an offer? I taught my VA how to write an offer. Now, I do not let them send it without me reviewing it. But what is one of the biggest thing about writing an offer, I got to find the listing agent's DRE number. I got to find their office DRE number. I got to find the APN number of the property. All these annoying stuff that requires 2 monitors, because if you do it on one, you're constantly like clicking and dragging tabs, right?
Yeah.
Davina, please write an offer for that. $900,000 14-day inspection, 14-day loan contingency, 10-day appraisal, 30-day close.
Yeah.
Okay. Proof of, what else do I need to put? Whatever. Home warranty, waive that. She drafts up everything. Now I go in and I'm like, all right, cool. Did she do it right? Cool. So now to draft an offer, if you're really good, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
If you're an expert like me, it only takes me 1 minute to review.
Yeah.
I save 9 minutes.
Yeah.
That's if you're really good. That's if your internet's fast and you have the 2 monitors. Bro, it takes like 15, 20 minutes to write an offer sometimes to extract all the information. So that's what else you can do.
Cool. So I agree that, well, I've heard over the weekend, right? Delegating and scaling are two different things, right? Yeah, now you have a VA. Now you could delegate all the stuff. You could practically just show up, have them close all the deals, have them write them up. But how does a realtor utilize their time to actually scale? What would you do with all that free time?
Okay. You have this saying that sometimes you're working in the business and you're working on the business, right? When you're doing the day-to-day tasks, you're working in the business. Now that the VA has freed up 2 to 3 hours a day of your time, maybe even more, you can now spend that time working on the business, right? What does that look like? It can mean a number of things. You can sit down there and actually think about your marketing and actually have time to curate a cool campaign or run Facebook ads or make content.
Yeah.
Number one way, Ryan Serhant, Gary Vee, everybody's saying make content. I don't have time, Brian. Yeah, because you're doing all these dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Now that you have the time, you have an hour a day, shoot content.
Yeah.
That's scaling,
Yeah.
right? Because people like to put big words and say, oh, how do I delegate? How do I scale? And they think it's so complicated. It's not.
Yeah.
It's as simple as making content about your business, which inadvertently builds your brand, which allows you, branding is basically what people say about you, what people think about you when you're not there, right?
Yeah.
That's all it is. That's how you scale. Now there's more deeper, but that's a start. That's one way of scaling. Creating a content that is being watched multiple times, that you don't have to keep constantly repeating yourself.
Yeah. Hey man, it's great advice. I think that's great advice. I think once you get to the delegating part, right, and you have time and it's time to scale, that's when it gets fun. You're like, all right, what can I do?
Yeah, once you have free time, you can think.
Look at us. We're making a podcast.
Yeah.
Right now,
The problem is when you're working in the business so much, you kind of get consumed and you get like narrowed vision.
Yeah.
And yeah, you crush it. You close a lot of deals, but you miss a lot of other opportunities because you're just so hyper-focused on just like one road.
Yeah. It's like kind of like trapping yourself back instead of 9 to 5 mentality,
So I always like to think that when you're working in the business, you're on one road.
Yeah.
When you're working on the business, you're in a helicopter looking down and you can see all the roads and which road is the fastest to get to your destination.
I like that.
I
like that. That's a juicy one right there.
That's a juicy one.
All right. So let's wrap this podcast up, guys. Brian, what are some words that you just want to wrap this up with? And any advice for, any realtors out there, or maybe somebody who's trying to get a VA, trying to scale, delegate, whatever? Go ahead. And this is some free time for you to just, speak to the audience.
Yeah. It doesn't cost anything to interview and check them out. So reach out to my team. I'll link them down below. And the website is www.theva, so THEVAHUB.com. And click the button down below. If you mention the No Name Business Podcast, we'll waive $100 off the setup fee as a gift to you guys. Just check them out, interview them, get, comfortable interviewing people.
Yeah.
Right? Most people never interview with anybody in their life. They've always been the one getting interviewed. Here's your chance to be a boss.
Yeah.
So let's wrap it up there. Hit it, PJ.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in again. And again, don't forget to share this. Give it a like. Follow us. Hey, we're going to grow fast, man. We're going to be the #1 business podcast in the world. So tune in. We'll see you guys next time. All right.